Here we are in FE Map Creator. I'm going to first of all load the tile set, so it comes with a whole bunch of them. The one that works best for generating random maps is the FE8 fields, so I'll just load that up. I'm going to do it as a 20 by 20 map. We go to map generation, we can then press generate map. If I'm not happy with it, I can press Ctrl N to make a new one. And then I can press Ctrl R or hold it down for it to try and repair those empty squares that it wasn't sure what to do with. And it will eventually come up with something. And there we go, it decided to get rid of that pool of water. And if you have XNA Studio, you can also set the terrain that you want to have go across the map. So over here, I have set it as plains. And then we'll have plains in that section. I'll make a river around here, maybe some peaks / mountains around here. And then when I generate a map, this time, it will follow that terrain that I've set. You can try it a few times. And then when you're happy with the draft of it, you can just hold Ctrl R and there we go. Now with my map, I can then I'll just save it as a TMX file. I'll save it as my map. So the first thing that I like to do when starting an FE Builder project, I'll go to Tools, Patches, and I'll just type in skip open so that I can skip the opening world map event as well as the opening logos. It just makes our life a lot easier when testing. Now I'm going to go to the map editor and I'm going to import the map that we made earlier in FE Map Creator. And so you can see our map is shown up here, and I'll hit right to ROM, so now it's saved. Then we can also edit the map here directly if we want to. Maybe I'll add a snag so that we can cross this river. So I'm going to write that down. And then for the snag as well as our village, we're going to need some tile changes. So if I go to expand tile changes, assign a new change, and hit right to ROM. I'll do that again because I need a couple of them. And last one, 3 should be enough. So I now have 3 tile changes. And if I go to expand tile change, display the tile change settings screen, this will make it easier to select where they should go. So we have these 3 tile changes. The first one can go up here where the village is, and it's going to be 3 by 3. Same with the next one. Same location, 3 by 3. And then the last one needs to go near this snag, and it's going to have a height of 2. So I've put that all down, and now I can close this screen. Then we can select if we want the main map, or if we want the tile change. Okay, the first tile change is going to be our ruins. So I'll put that down and hit right to ROM. Then our next tile change is going to be, it's basically the same village, except we'll have a closed gate. And then finally, we're going to have a little bridge appear. And that should work nicely. The next thing that we're going to do is edit our start event just to get rid of everything that we don't need. So I've deleted almost everything. You can see I've left if player unit join party, and also this called event at the bottom. This actually is where the enemies are loaded. So I'm just going to copy and paste that, and then I can delete the called event. And now we have just the units. So now we can edit where they should be in the unit placer. So I can have the boss up here. I can have this unit up here. And, oh, that was the boss. Okay, boss way up here. Way up here. And then I'll have my players. We don't need all of those extra movement coordinates. Just have them start down here. And same with Erica. There we go. Now let's change our turn events. So I'm going to press expand because I only want one. And I'm going to change that. If I type in 0, then it will let me create a new event. And I'm going to do an enemy reinforcement event. So I'll press on that in a second. Let's have it happen on turn 2 at the start of player phase. And let's edit this event. So it has a little placeholder for loading reinforcements. So if we double click on that, we're back in the unit placer now. We can allocate some space. Let's have 2 enemy units. And we can actually kind of copy these ones just to give us a nice placeholder. And we're going to have them, one of them is going to try and destroy the snag, while the other is going to try and move towards the village to destroy that. So let's have the other go down over here. They each have an iron axe, and then we can also change their class. So if I've clicked on class, I can go over to brigand, double click that, and now it's changed. And then same with this one, make them both brigands. Oh, and I need to double click on that. And there we have it. Now we're going to make our village actually function. So we're going to go into events, and we go to map objects. We're going to expand it so that there are 2 map objects. One of them is just going to be the target for enemies trying to destroy the village. So that goes in the exact center of the village. And it just has a dummy event. So if you type in 1 under event, that will work. And for the event where we acquire an item or whatever we want, that's going to be at the actual tile that we visit. And we're going to set some completion flag so that it doesn't occur over and over again. You can also click on completion flag to see the different usage in this chapter. So we can see that temporary flag 8 is used by both of these events. If I double click on this event, this is a vanilla event that we don't really need anymore. I can actually just go over to our always conditions, and I can overwrite it and then reduce this. So now if we click on it again, we can see it's only our village event. Now that we've done that, we want to go back to our village, and we want to create a new event. So maybe a conversation, and I can also have a unit be loaded. So here's our event. Let's go to unit placer, and we're going to have the new player unit join us. So let's allocate new space and insert that. Now it would have this unit be recruited. Now we already have Erica, so let's have the next one up. That's fine. We can also change the text if we want to. Let's see. Something like this. And they can say hello. And then, because I want to change the text, I need to install the anti-Huffman patch. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, the patch is installed. I have my text where he says hello. And then that should function. And lastly, let's make it so that when you recruit this character, that they actually come out of the village. I'm going to give them a second coordinate so that they walk out. Now let's customize our characters a little bit. let us give them some new portraits. So I had selected a few earlier. Should put in under portraits. Okay, I can make our first person called Becky. And so when I inserted it, you can see that the mouth frame is not quite in the right place. And just move it over slightly, and then it should work. I'll replace Seth as well. Let's see. Instead we can have this guy. Again, looks like the eyes need to go up as well as the mouth. And that should work. Let's also get another portrait over here. Oh, it's telling me that it's exceeded 16 colors and it's gonna just automatically fix it for me. That's fine. And they have some different portraits. You can also give them some different names if I'd like. So I'm gonna type in Becky over here. Oswin and Ken. Now we're going to change the classes of my units. So let's have a mercenary with an iron sword. Oswin, you can be wyvern. And then Becky, let's give you a new class. I'm just going to overwrite in this case, but you could actually expand the number of classes if you have skill systems or expanded modular save. So let's get the standing map animation first. Okay, and the moving map animation. Okay, and that's all good. And the animation for battle. So let's expand it to have 2 cases. There's one case for swords. So here's the swords. And then there's another case for if you're unarmed, called item. And there we go. And finally, let's actually change her class to be that new one way at the bottom, the villager class. And it also should need a name. Right now, it just has 0 as the text ID, so I can't use that. Instead, I can find an open text ID, or I can expand all of the text. Oh, let's expand it. Scroll way down. Maybe I'll use this one and type in villager. Now in my animations, I accidentally overwrote the same one twice. So for swords, we want to choose another one over here on the left. And let's overwrite that one. So I'm in my sword animation. We'll put that in. And then, so this needs to use the same ID. So it's number 3, right? You could double click on it. And there we go. Now I'm going to change the tile set to make it snowy. So if I go to the chapter editor, I can then go to change map style, and I'm going to split the plist. You'll need to split it once. And now we have a whole bunch of empty entries. If I put in 3 for object type, it says it's unused. If I also put in 3 for palette, it says it overlaps. So they just need to have unique numbers. So I can put 3, 4, 5, that should work fine. And then I will hit write to ROM. Now you can see our map is totally gone. We'll get it back in a moment. So I'm now in the map editor. If I press edit palette, it will show me our tile set. So it's just empty right now. So let's get our tile set. Here we go. So rather than the tile set preview, we're actually just looking for the 256 times 256 image. It's the object. And yes, we'll take the palette at the same time. And lastly, we just now need the tile config. So it should have the extension map chip config. And there we go. You can see it's all snowy. We can close that out. And our map looks normal. Now we're actually going to add a couple of things that I forgot. So I'm going to toggle the new game text to be off. And I'm also going to change the game options. So you could turn the animations to be off by default. And I'm going to turn the game/text speed to be fast. I'll close that. And then I press F5 to start testing my hack. You can see the debugger has also opened. And we have our emulator here. I'll just erase the data. And I'll start a new game on normal. Okay. And it should go straight to our chapter. Yep. And so we see we have our unit. But she can't wield her rapier. So let's go into cheats. I'm going to first select my unit, click on cheat. I type in the item to give, so I'll give her an iron sword. Now I can see she has an iron sword. That graphics just happens because I had opened the menu at the same time. Okay, and I'll start moving up. Okay, one of the enemies is coming forth. And we saw these enemies just spawned. Next, I could also go into the etc. tab. And if I feel Becky is too weak, maybe I give her 9 power and 8 speed. I could also move her to be somewhere else on the map. Let's put her right on the village. That'll make it easier. And let's visit. It's useful for debugging. He says hello. And he's now joined our party. Start moving over this way. And Oswin, you can go up here. And now we can see he's attacking Becky. And we have our new animation that we inserted earlier. So Becky can handle herself over there. And there are a couple more enemies. Oh, and they're attacking the snag. That's good. Okay. Go ahead and kill off this one. Finish you off. Very good. And almost done the chapter. Okay, they finish off the snag, and at least one of them will start moving towards the village, but looks like we're done the chapter. Okay, let's finish this guy off. And the reason why there's no battle animation right now for Oswin is because I have not set the Wyvern Knight to be able to use swords in animations. That's why I was just showing it on the map. I also didn't change the battle quote or the death quote or the ending scene, so he still just says, "Princess, are you injured?" But in any case, the chapter works, and then it would move on to the next chapter. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed. Bye now.